bed. It's just there, baby, look. Oh, fuck, this is not easy while it's up in the air. I'm going to lose a load of staples down here. Definitely want that to be more rigid. So I'm back on the DIY predator-proof chicken pen. So I've got all the staples back on the panel that I had to re-square last week. Now, interestingly, I spoke to my dad after the video went live and he said he wouldn't have even bothered doing that. He would have got the door slightly out of square to match the panel. Now, if you remember, the panel was originally square, but something knocked it out. I know a few of you said I was OTT for doing it, but it hurt a little bit. But the most popular adjustment, lots of you said, and 34 people agreed with it, was to paint the mesh black. So I've got some paint that's arrived. It might not be the right metal paint, but I've gone for Rustin's Quick Dry Matte Black for wrought iron and wood, because it was like £89 for 500ml. And of course, it's meant to be raining today a little bit, but because it's quick dry and it's touch dry within 30 minutes, I think I'm going to be all right, and it feels dry. I'm only going to do it on the outside. I might do it on this side of the door as well. I don't know. If I do that, I'm probably going to open a can of worms and then want to paint the rest of it. Let's just stick with outside. And I finally need to cut some angular pieces for the joints here and trim for the bottom web. I've had to use quite a few packers and work on the design for the roof. Ooh. So a few of you said to just use a roller, because apparently I won't waste as much rather than spray painting. There's a bit of dust there. See what it looks like. I've got to press a bit. Yeah, it's not dripping everywhere, so that's nice. You're not sure? Well, it's too late now. I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know. I'm not sure it's working because the background is bright. It might be better in shaded areas. Mind you, by the time a roof is on, it might look more shaded. Oh, and apparently a brush isn't working either. It's going everywhere. I'm not sure about the brush. Right, let's try this again. I don't know. I don't know. It might be an optical illusion on camera. No, I'm not seeing this. Right, for the angle pieces, I'm doing a little test. Don't want to use my table saw because it scares me. I'm going to see if this fits first, if it's good enough. It's still a bit shy, isn't it? I'm not happy with that at all. So which side was it that I did? Okay, so that does match that. You know what, I got it the wrong way around. So I want to trim off that little bit as a trial. It's not quite, it's not quite. What do you do with a half-baked plan? You go for gold. I'm having a bit of faith. I've got a bigger piece here because I want more surface area to screw to. Okay, so it's not gone all the way through, and I'm happy with that because I still want it to keep its shape, so it's easy to cut. Let's say 3/4 of the way down. So I now need to try and chamfer the other edge to get it to fit. Come on, please work. Oh God, that is so far away there. But this got me thinking about attempt 3. So I basically cut a bevel on that end and then that end, and it was still whole, so I could keep it steady and rotate it round. Then I'll do a bevel and then rotate it that way and cut it straight in the middle. Now one hopefully will fit, the other one will have to be planed down. And it might need trimming at the back, just to slot in. Well, I'm happy, I'm very happy. I wasn't going to go for it sticks out a little bit, but I actually think it's all right. It doesn't say it's an eyesore to me. This has to be too big. Oh, it's not that bad up there. Now, I know my dad was saying you want it flush with this, but actually it's starting to look like I've added some trim on intentionally. And that's why I think I'm going to leave it. Hello, are you free to come and just look at something for me? I want to know if you think this is all right to your standards. It's just done what people do in American TV shows and films. They never say bye on the end of a call. They just hang up. I can't be the only one who's noticed that. So Mr. TCD said they didn't look quite even in the slot. So I've decided to unscrew them and I'm going to put it back in and make sure everything is plumb and do my best. I think I've got paint on my face, but anyway, let me show you what we've done. Although you can see it's clamped together right now, because it was a pain in the backside to get it all lined up and plumb, we decided to screw this bit to this middle bit first. Then I offered this up. So now I can put a load of screws in to tie it all in together. And I will repeat the same with that over there anyway. So like last week, I'm going to add some screws at the back, but also the front for that beading. But I've got to drill closer to me for this front bit. Wow, it's cold. Woo! So to cover any of the raised areas where we've had to use packers because the bricks weren't completely level, I've decided to scribe some tongue and groove because I've got a few scraps of this. So as long as it's deep enough so I can scribe here and then trim it down at the top, then I should be all right. First thing I want to do is make sure it is level, which it is. And I know that there's a gap down there, so screw that on. Screwdriver's in the pen. Yep, that is correct. I'm just going to screw down to the base. I'm not going to do further up because I don't want to leave some scarring. Oh great, you went with the wind. To scribe it, I'm using the offcut of a packer for ease. Alright, I'm running it along the bottom. Well, it might not be perfect because it's not perfectly flat. I then cut along my pencil line with the jigsaw. So apart from needing to trim a little bit off at the end, and yeah, it looks a little bit wavy at the bottom, but by the time it's all painted, you're not going to notice. And I'd say that's bang on. So I'm going to mark behind that. Then rip it down with my compact circular saw. After I've repeated that for all of them and painted them, I screwed the lot on in one go. But a mistake I didn't see coming was that because I went with the filler pieces that protruded, I shouldn't have had them in line with the base of the panels. I should have had them sat on top of the bricks because I ended up having this silly gap. So instead of redoing them, I'd come too far. I cut small pieces off the offcuts and glued them on with a paintable adhesive. Not my finest moment, but it is what it is. Too far, too far. Oh. So apart from having to do some touch-ups because Mr. TCD doesn't like using masking tape, it's actually grown on us, particularly when you stood here looking down where you would see chickens. And I've got to touch up my mistake. It's like it never happened. So, we've had a problem this week to do with the design of the roof. We've been debating about this for probably about 3 weeks since we started planning this. Originally we were going to go for a flat roof and just mesh, and it was nice and simple. But this week we had bad news. Now we've already signed up to DEFRA to say we wanted 6 chickens, and because they've got our contact details, they then messaged us to say there's a lot of avian flu about this area, South Yorkshire, and a few places dotted around. So it's probably very likely that chickens are going to have to be quarantined, particularly here near the coast. So that has changed things considerably. We've now got to think of a sloping roof with something solid, probably like Onduline roofing. Now you might be wondering why, and that is because any wild birds that sit on the roof, if it was mesh, they could drop their droppings through the mesh that come into contact with our chickens, which they can peck on it, or rain can start swishing it around, spreading disease, and that is not what we want. So we're having to go on SketchUp again and try and redesign it. So yes, the existing outbuilding slopes backwards, but the panels are obviously square right now. But obviously with this being a shallower end, then the deeper fascia over there, that limits us to where we can go if we want to mount any timber to the fascia. So the height of that goes all the way and meets to there. Then I've made sure that the other panel is level with that. Now, if you've got any tips and recommendations, let me know now. But the plan is to add my piece there on the fascia, which will then rest on the new panel that I'm going to be putting here, which is in line with the height of the rest of it. Then offset it a little bit and then build a mini wall which is slightly higher than this. This is the bit that sticks out that we're trying to work around, and I don't really want to be cutting all of this off because I still don't want any rain to get underneath here. And with that wall being taller, maybe about 30 to 40 centimetres, it'll give us a nice 5-degree minimum slope to here. So by the time we do put undulate roofing on, the rain can run off. But whether we go for clear or bitumen style, we don't know yet. But in an ideal world, we'd just go for the mesh roofing and put tarpaulin over. But by the time you've meshed all of this over, it's going to be very difficult to even reach over there because you just can't feed it through. Now, you might be wondering why I'm not talking about having rafters running that way, the longest way. Well, usually you do it the shortest run, and this way is just over 5 metres. I think it's 506 centimetres, something like that. And this is more around 4.6 metres. In fact, that is 4.4 metres. So I've got the timber for that. Anyway, that's where we're at now, having to do many different diagrams on SketchUp. But hopefully you enjoyed this video and I get to share an update very soon because I want to get cracking. I want my chickens. Anyway, see you in the next one. Bye.